My dear student, welcome to my online class. Farewell by the grace of Almighty. Today I am going to discuss about Unit 9, Lesson 6. Now look at the pictures and say what this is. So we'll see the newspaper and someone writing on the paper. So today's lesson is Lesson 6. Paper has advanced our life. Now let's jump into the vocabulary first. Record, meaning, documentation. Encyclopedia, meaning a book or set of books giving information of many subjects or many aspects of one subject and trophically arranged alphabetically. Digital, meaning operated or done with a finger using or giving a reading in digits. Now let's watch the video.
The evolution of paper, the common white object that we all use today, is something taken for granted, but it has a long history. We shall trace the genesis of paper here. The paper, as we all know it today, is derived from papyrus, and its origin can be traced back to the Han Dynasty. The type of paper they made was from hemp, and it was coarse, uneven, and thick. This was known to man from excavations from a Han tomb. Sometime in 104 AD, a eunuch, Kai Lun, in the Han dynasty, tried his hand at making paper. He took bamboo fiber and added the inner bark of the mulberry tree. He pounded them together, adding water. When it was pounded well, he let it drain on a flat cloth, and when this dried, only the fiber remained. The man realized he had stumbled upon a material which could be used for writing. It was lightweight. In course of time, he used other material too to make the same, and he presented them to the emperor of the time in 105 AD, and that, according to Chinese history, was the making of paper. What prompted him to use lightweight material was the earlier used material was difficult to carry as they were heavy. Slowly, this was brought to other countries by the Chinese travelers, and paper became a common product. The Arabs mastered the skill and soon made it popular everywhere. Paper is nearly 2000 years old. Not all paper is made from wood. Some are made from cloth. Our banknotes are an example of paper from cloth as they are more durable. One tree can make a lot of paper. The general A-size paper we use commonly was made in Germany in the 1920s and adopted internationally in the 70s. The largest handmade paper sheet made was in Japan in 2009. Another interesting fact is that there is a limit to how many times a paper can be folded. This is because each time we fold, it increases in thickness. The art of paper folding, origami, was developed by the Japanese in the early 17th century and came to the rest of the world in the 1900s. Paper aeroplanes were made, and that was another use to which it was put. We use a lot of paper every day, and an average office worker uses almost 10,000 sheets of paper every year.
Now read the text and answer the following questions. Communication of ideas is at the center of civilization. Communication means the act of communicating with the people, contract, or transmission. Of ideas, ideas means plan, concept, thought, or notion. at the center of civilization. The center means middle of civilization. Civilization means the state of human social life. So that means the act of communicating with the people of idea is the middle of civilization. It requires a written records. Record means documentation, evidence, or to store something for future. Most of our records in the modern age are on paper. Most of our documentation in the modern means present day, contemporary, or current age are on paper. Most of our documentation in the modern age we are writing on the paper. Though, nonetheless, writing was invented very early. Although writing was invented, originated, or innovated, or created very early age, primitive age, paper is more modern invention. But paper is more modern invention, paper invented in modern age. For long in history, the invention of the paper is very long history. People transfer ideas through speaking and listening. In the primitive ways, people transfer means convey or share their ideas, concept, plan through speaking or listening. Then they came art of writing. Then they invented the art of writing. But to record thoughts in a writing was difficult. But to record, to store or share a document for future, to store a document for future was very difficult, very hard, very tough. Writing material was not available because at that time writing materials, writing substance were not available means obtainable or accessible. Available means obtainable, accessible, or attained. People used surface of a stone metal. At the time, people use means utilize, make use of surface of stone. Surface of a stone means outside of a stone, and metals, solids materials, and wood means a hard substance of tree. We can say the timber. Bark means hard outer covering of a tree for writing. People utilize the outer of a stone, solid materials, timber, and bark, and leaves and etc. for writing. Because at that time the writing material was not very obtainable. Those things were not easy to carry. If you write those things, surface of a stone, metals, wood, barks, or leaves, we cannot carry very easily, very difficult. Then for age, people looked for easy writing materials. People search for or seek for easy writing materials. Finally, eventually, or eventually, paper was invented, was originated, or created in China 1058. Before paper age, knowledge was very restricted. Before invention of the paper, knowledge was very limited or constricted. Can you think of that time? Can you think when did they do before invention of the paper? There were very few books in the world. So because that time the paper was not invention, there were very few books in the world. Maybe they were written on the stone or heavy wood planks or metal sheet. Maybe that will be the correct because there was no paper. That is why they were written on the stone or heavy wood planks. Plank means timber plate or metal sheet. They write their books on stones or wood planks or metal sheet. And suppose, imagine one page was a heavy stone blocks. One page of heavy stone blocks, so think of 100 pages book. If you write on the stone, so one page of the heavy stone blocks. If there is more than 100 of page books, and how can you carry it? Is it possible for anyone? No. In our age, you can carry the entire world of knowledge in a digital form in your laptop bag. In the modern society, we can bear the entire world, total world of knowledge in a digital form. Digital means storing data in the form of digital signal in your laptops. So if you can carry the whole world, knowledge of the whole world in a digital form in your laptop. So if you can use the whole knowledge of the whole world. You can even carry huge volume of paper encyclopedia. And in your laptops, if you connect it with the internet, and so we can go to the encyclopedia, which is consist of the huge volume of paper. Encyclopedia means sets of books giving information about the many things. But who could produce and carry tons of heavy stone books and document in those paper lists? But who could produce, who could make and carry and bear the tons of heavy stone books? Who could be able to carry the heavy stone books and documents on those paper lists when paper was not invented? In fact, indeed, Pfeffer has made publication spread of knowledge information. Indeed, Pfeffer has made the publication, Pfeffer has made the printing and a spread which expansion of the knowledge and information easy, very easy. So you can see how Pfeffer has changed our life. Then we can see that how Pfeffer has impacted in our day-to-day life. Answer the following question. Question number one. How did people transfer ideas before writing was invented? Question number two. How did people look for easy writing materials? Question number three. Why was knowledge very restricted in free paper age? Question number four. Do you think paper has changed our life? Explain why. Your answer is yes or a no. Question number five. When was paper invented and when? And do the activity C. Discuss with your partners and make a list of things other than paper on which we can write in pens, pencils, markers, brushes, paint, and pencil, etc. Your homework is write an article on a paper. Have a nice life. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you.